wanted to share a story with you tonight. It's kind of a gratitude story in a weird way. It was about somebody who wasn't grateful for something, and what happened to this guy. So, a long time ago in China, there was a monk. There was, I guess, this little baby monk in the monastery. He was really young. He was maybe 8 or 9. And sometimes in the monasteries, I know in Korea, they'll have orphans come who don't have parents, and they become little baby monks, and they grow up in the monastery. So there was this little baby monk, and he was really pure-hearted, and he was really great. And he was a great kid. He had a lot of heart. And one day, Buddha decided to change form into this smelly, nasty, disgusting, swearing, horrible person. And so he did that, and he was testing the monks' minds in this monastery. So he appears in this form, in this monastery, in this temple, and he's disgusting in every way. He's just vile, rude, crude, and awful. And so none of the monks are nice to him, but this little boy is assigned to be his attendant. So he's really kind to this guy, which is extraordinary in a child to be able to do this. He's really kind to him. He washes his feet. He takes care of him and everything. And so when the monk, the vulgar guy, which is a permutation of the Buddha, of course, when he leaves, he says to this boy, "You've been very kind to me, so I want you to know if you're ever in trouble in the future, bow to the east, take 3 steps, bow to the east 3 times, and I will appear and I will help you no matter what." So the little boy said, "Thank you." So the little boy grows up and he becomes a monk, and he sits in a cave for several years. He's very pure. There's like no thinking. He's no holding. He's just really clear. And so the emperor invites him to become the national teacher. And he doesn't want to do this because he likes the cave, and he doesn't want to go into the palace and wear the brocade and eat the fine foods and do all the administrative stuff and everything. So he says, "No, thank you." The emperor sends a request again. He says no, and the 3rd time he has to say yes, because that's the tradition. If you're asked 3 times, you must say yes. So he goes to the palace, and he becomes the national teacher. And his mind starts to get a little soft, because it's a little bit cushy, and he's just, kind of caught up. And so he gets little cracks in his consciousness where, desire, anger, ignorance is appearing. But he basically is this amazing, amazing monk. So one day, he's in his room, and he's got servants, and he's got all this stuff, and he's in his room, and he looks down on his thigh, and there's a nose growing out of his thigh, a human nose. And as you can imagine, he's completely weirded out by this. It's embarrassing, it's beyond weird. He doesn't know what he's going to do, so he calls the palace doctors in, and they look at it. They've never seen anything like it. It's just this nose. And so they're like, "All right, we're going to do emergency surgery," in their own way at that time, probably get a knife and cut it off. And they cut it off, and they bandage up his thigh. And he was like, "Oh, thank God, that was awful." So then they take the bandages off, and not only now has the nose come back, but there's a mouth underneath the nose. And there's this mouth, and it's screaming profanities at him. So he can no longer function. He can't go out. He can't go to a restaurant. He can't do his teaching schedule, nothing. And it's saying, "You no good, SOB," the swearing, blah, 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 blah. "You're terrible, you're bad." And so they don't know what to do with it. It's really weird. So again, the surgeons come, and they remove this growth on his thigh. So he wakes up from that, he recovers, and now there's a full-blown face on this guy's leg. Angry eyes, screaming, the nose, the mouth is screaming, and he suddenly remembers, if I ever get in trouble, I can walk to this river, and then if I get to the river and I bow 3 times, this Buddha will appear and help me. Never had to use this card before. So he walks down to this river, and it's a day's journey, and all the way there, the the mouth is screaming at him. You're bad, you're terrible, I hate you, no good. Screaming and yelling, and he just all the way just keeps walking. And then right before he gets to the river, he bows, and Buddha appears and says, just all you have to do is take a scoop of this water and put it on the face on your leg, and it will disappear. He's like, thank you so much. Oh my God, this has been such a trial. And he gets this ladle, and he's about to put it on when the face screams, stop! And the monk is like, oh my gosh. He's like, what? And he said, don't you remember me? And he looks at the face for the first time ever. All this time he's been like this to it. You know, he's not seeing it as an opportunity. He's seeing it as something to push away, like Tom was saying. Bad stuff out, good stuff over here. So all the way his relationship for, months now has been to be like, just get off of me, cut it out, Stop. So he's like, well, who are you? I don't remember you. And the face says, well, I was your best friend in our last life. I was your very best friend. And you stole my wife. And I vowed that I would be reborn and I would kill you. I would come back and get you somehow, but you've been so pure and so clear, I couldn't even get in there at all. But then you lost your concentration, and he's got a little lazy and got a little soft. I was at least able to do this. And then he looks at his face. This is on his own leg. He looks at this face and he sees the pain in the eyes of this friend. And he says, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And the face just disappeared. Just like that. And I thought about that story to tell you because that's sort of what we do, the opposite of gratitude. And these are all just, of course, allegories from mindsets. And as Tom was saying in his talk, everything that comes is this opportunity. Everything that comes is an opportunity. Sometimes it is the sun on your face, and that's an opportunity. Just feel it. Instead of thinking that you're somewhere else and not feeling it, just feel it. That's a pleasant experience. But also we all have some manner of this face growing out of our thigh. We all have that, that person or that emotion or that thing, like Ben, you were saying, we don't want, right? We don't want that stuff. But that too, so we have that choice when we're faced with either a pleasant or an unpleasant thing. There's the shoulders up around your ears and the push away mind, like, just get rid of that. Or there's the, who are you mind? What do you want? What are you trying to teach me, mind? And so I think of that as sort of also a type of gratitude. So you can use anything that comes your way in Zen, whether it's a good thing, whether it's a bad thing, as an opportunity to look at it. And by looking at it, it disappears. It's a lot like if there's a dark room and you shine a flashlight in it, it becomes illuminated by definition. There's no more darkness, right? Because this light has permeated this dark place. So the same as that in the Zen practice that we do, that seeing clearly how things work is like shining that light into that corner, so that when something is illuminated like that, it's resolved because you see it for what it is. And so it doesn't have power over us anymore. It's not, we're not running away from it. We're not afraid of it. We just face it and say, what is this? So on that note, I think we can end our Thanksgiving evening. I want to thank all of you for coming. Thank everybody at the Cambridge Zen Center for keeping this place running for us all. When you think about it, for those of us who live in Cambridge, we take it for granted. But if you go to some different Zen centers around the world, there might be one person there to bang the milk talk. There might be renting a space. They might have to move the Dharma room every week, set it up and tear it down, you know. And when you see this place and all of what it offers for us, and all of the practice that goes on here, it's just, I really appreciate everyone here for keeping it for us, and I appreciate all of you who come. So I hope that, you know, since it is up and running and it is 7 days and 7 nights a week, and there are talks and retreats and interviews and so many ways that you can access this teaching. We have teachers that come, all kinds of guest teachers. We had a guest teacher this weekend, and we have people coming in here. We just had a guest from Germany, Arne, who was here. So we have people coming from all over the world to the Cambridge Zen Center for you. So I hope you take advantage of it and come here, get enlightenment, find your true self, and save all beings from suffering.